Could this Bitcoin rally be different after this halvening than the prior ones? I believe it could be due to a trifecta of events that we didn't have in the past, and we're going to discuss that. Thank you for watching. I call this Crypto for the Rest of Us. I try to bring one tip, one tool, or analysis of one coin a day. Something short, something sweet, watch, listen to on the way to work. So what we're going to talk about is, and as you see here, this is Plan B. I had this and shown it in other videos. Follow him on Twitter and YouTube. His stock to flow model is talked about all the time. He has like 2 million followers. And what he shows here is how Bitcoin moves prior to and after all of the halvenings. So the last one was 2012. 4 years later, 2016, right here. 4 years later, 2020. And then we just had this April 2024. He's got these various colors here. You can see right before this halvening, it started to move and then it took off. And then it retraced a little bit, halved, 2016, took off. Retraced a little bit, halved 2020, took off. Retraced a little bit, halved 2024, theoretically take off. And he's showing that in this cycle could get to possibly $500,000. Now, when you think about what's actually happening and what has happened in the past, for the most part in 2012 and 16 and 20, who was buying Bitcoin? Well, it was typically someone such as myself or others who were using wallets like MetaMask and purchasing Bitcoin and holding it themselves, or maybe on an exchange. Now, the trifecta of events that didn't happen prior to any of those happening is the following. First, ETFs. There were no spot Bitcoin ETFs. And I say spot because if you're familiar, what that means is that they have to have the Bitcoin to back up the dollars that are invested, just like a spot gold fund. There were 11, and they were approved, and you could purchase them prior to the halvening. That helped, many believe, push the price up. That's the first thing. So in the past, you couldn't buy an ETF. Now, what does that really matter? Well, think about how difficult it was to learn the technology like the wallets for the average person. It's much easier for them to just, let's say, go onto their broker like Fidelity and find the ETF, click, purchase, buy, done. And it was to figure out how to install a wallet and then write down their passphrase and then some sort of an exchange and then try to get some money into it, some USD, and then turn it into some Bitcoin and then get back. It was difficult. Well, this time, individuals were able to very quickly purchase through ETFs, and they couldn't before. To hold, okay, that did not. I have here in my notes that MicroStrategy in 2020. Let's see, May 11th was the halving, and they started purchasing in August after the halving. Okay, prior to this 24 halving, MicroStrategy had been adding a lot of Bitcoin to their corporate balance sheet. Okay, third thing, the trifecta: countries. Central banks. El Salvador. El Salvador was 2021. Okay, so that was after the 2020 halving. And El Salvador is using a dual currency and using Bitcoin as a currency. So 3 major events which are adding a lot more investment, in my opinion, are the fact that ETFs were available before this, MicroStrategy and corporations are adding it to their balance sheet before this, and countries are dabbling in Bitcoin before this. Didn't happen the last time. So if you take a look at this Plan B model, it shows what's going to happen. Now, these events could push it even higher. I'm really not sure. But this is something we hadn't seen in the prior Bitcoin moves. And we got a Bitcoin high, all-time high, prior to the halving. Usually it occurs after. So we'll see how these events play out, but I thought it was very interesting to put things into perspective and say, is this the same or different than the past? And I believe it's very different, and it might mean that it pushes it higher faster. Who knows? Thanks for watching. Until next time, let's all make generational wealth through crypto. Have a great day.